Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on our YouTube account, and that is right, the buffed up Isle of Gold is up. So we're going to hop in this event, and I want to run through the guide that is actually over on AFK Inside. But of course, the big thing in here is you do get the anniversary bash, increases pillage and the building gains by 10%, which we know is going to be a very, very massive buff in here. Overall 10% over a multitude of days. This ends in 14 days, which means getting in here is an absolute priority when this releases, making sure that you get those rolls in and you get the buildings built ASAP. Now, overall, I'm going to run through the guide, show you exactly kind of what it looks like. So let's hop over and check it out. So right here is the Isle of Gold strategy. Now this again is from AFK Inside. Big shout out to them. So they have a traditional strategy, which I'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see traditional strategy. So going through and building out the blessings, the Fountain of Blessing, also pumping in those resources, a fountain, towers, and flowers, everyday attacking, trying to exchange attacks with players that play through the attack. So again, this is going to be kind of both strategies like we talked about when you're coming in here. So stage one, you'll build your resource towers. Like we said before, this is super important to build up these resources because we are getting a 10% buff, building out this Fountain of Blessing. Now again, Fountain of Blessing, a pretty interesting dynamic with this one because we have a Fountain of Blessing. We also do have the Fountain of War. Overall, building out this Fountain of Blessing is going to amplify the resources that you're getting out of here. With the 10% boost is going to be big. Now right here, it throws energy towers up to level 10. That is where you want to build them. And then 3 different flowers going up to level 10. Now we know at level 10, you are actually going to be able to, and it will unlock the rest of what these towers have to offer, which again, there's no reason to take them higher. So again, taking our resource buildings to 30, taking the Fountain of Blessing to 30 is the big priority out here. Then we look at stage 2. After pumping up your resource towers, you can gradually change energy towers to shining towers. Now, shining towers, of course, is a different variation that we have of the resources, and I believe it does give us some additional resources out of there. So again, once we pump up those resource stages or resource towers up to a certain point, trying to get them honestly to 30, we can gradually change these to the other tower as we get these maxed out, meaning the effective level raising that we're seeing out of the energy towers is no longer going to be effective because we have the towers essentially at 30. Now this shows if you found allies, the fountain in here. If you didn't find allies, I believe the Fountain of War, so that'll give you the ability to actually attack and be a little bit stronger. If you don't find allies, right there it says check the Fountain of Blessing. Now they also do have an extreme strategy in this one, which I do like. The main goal of strategy is to develop resource buildings in the Fountain of Blessing as soon as possible, which of course is good. Accumulate the attacks until the end of the event at the expense of the shipyard. That is right. This is not going to be using the attacks until you get to the end. So if you're getting those bonus attacks through the shipyard, you're just going to stack them up. At the end of the event, attacking players will pump up resources. Even the Masons, this strategy is extremely risky and requires effort to use. So essentially, if you're stacking, 8, 10, 12, 15 attacks through the entire event, when the resource buildings are at their absolute maximum, so we've had a lot of time to go ahead and let all of these buildings build up pretty much to their max, you definitely want to go in here, and that is where, again, this is the extreme strategy of building out these. Now you can see, after upgrading the resource towers and the fountains and accumulating the dice rolls, you can actually switch out some of these. Energy towers go to all of flowers. The fountain switches to the Fountain of War. So again, you can literally swap this, and probably the last day, I would say, but you could go in here and you could swap these. Even if you're very, very close to the last couple hours, you could definitely swap all those, which would be very cool. So dust at a 30, energy towers level 10 for the +5 to really buff up those resources. And again, this is big. More than 24 hours until the end of the event. First attacking through the magazine. Main goal is the IOs with upgraded resources. Then we attack the random opponents with this. So going through the magazine, as they call it. And again, this is Google translated from, I believe, Russian is where it's coming from. But that is anyone. So actually the revenge attacking, you can kind of farm through there and see exactly what you're going to get. Best time to attack is immediately after the server restart because the most delicious island haven't been robbed. And the results of throwing on the length of the press, as you can see with the short 1, 2, 3 controlling length of presses, you can get different rolls. So we know this to be true where if you're holding it the full length, chances are you can get a 6 if you're rolling those shorter rolls, 1, 2, or 3 you can actually pick up out of here in a pretty good strategy. So I like it overall with kind of the build out. Now, of course, hopping in to actually AFK Arena, let's hop back over and look into it. Let's go ahead and do some rolls. Now, looking at kind of the guide that they have built up, and they're showing the Essence Mine, the Diamond Mine, and then, of course, both the Labyrinth and the Pocoins. I agree with that in its entirety. They are the absolute most important to build. So the Essence Mine, of course, is going to allow you to gain a couple more levels. Trying to do a short roll to land on there, but overall getting the Diamond Mine built up, and then a couple other towers in here. So they do have a couple different formations, again, to kind of build out of here. So once we get both of those, we're doing the Labyrinth. I'm not going to worry about the Guild Exchange. Most of you know, even going in there and building up and buying out Eugene, most of the Guild Exchange tokens are pretty much maxed out in their entirety, which means if we're going in there and we're pumping a lot more resources in there, we are not going to have the ability to essentially get to the point of building them up. Now, there is a free roll with the Diamond Mine, and this one we are going to build our defensive buildings. And of course, in this one, we are starting with the Fountain of Blessing. Now, the Fountain of Blessing is going to increase the Prosper. This is the building you want to get up as soon as possible because, of course, this is going to make a really big difference. Now, from here, we're going to do 4 energy towers, and we're also going to do 3 additional rolls in here. So there we go. Got a little bit more Prosper, but we're going to roll some energy towers in here. And again, we kind of want to go around and get some good or some decent rolls through here. That way we can kind of make some solid progression, but we're going to drop these 4 energy towers. And again, these are ones that we are going to change later on in the event. So again, first priority is building these up as fast as possible, getting the yield built up on all of these. And again, 33 to 43, going to give us some more Labyrinth tokens in there. Try to get a 1 to land, which we did not, but we did get a free Diamond Mine in there. Again, going with the Prosper, and I think I have, 2 already in here. Again, we're going to go for number 3. And systematically, we can actually map these around a couple different places. That way, we can have the ability to actually get, again, some bonus places in here. So what do we have? We have 1, 2, I think we have 3. I'm going to build a flower. And again, flowers, we want to get to 10. 1, 2, 3. And then the towers, we want to get to 10. 10 is the goal there. There's our 3 extra rolls. That is one that we are absolutely looking for. We'll go ahead, we'll build our 4th tower. We need 2 more of our flowers in here to continue building these out. And then, like I said, systematically, we're going to go through here. We're going to build these out a little bit. Even we just hit level 1, so we are going to get some resources. Level 5 Diamond Mine already, guys, which is awesome. That is very, very cool to see. Again, I wanted a bigger roll in there. We held it a little bit. If you hold it almost... My mouse is actually needing to be replaced, so I believe some of the holds that I'm holding are not really holding. We just leveled up a ton of those towers, which again, systematically, we're going to change this up kind of how they sit based on where we are. But what do we need? We still need, 2 more flowers. So we have the red flower in here. Let me get the 2 other flowers, because again, I don't think I'm going to go in here and do the super, super advanced strategy. We already have this at 5. Prosper limit +2, but moral limit -2. So boom, already have that one built out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and drop one of my flowers here. We're going to go with the prayer flower. Hopefully a pretty good roll. There we go. Free crimson flower right there. And some more yield out of our essence. Boom, already going to level 5, getting the prosper limit +6. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I was hoping we'd get this. And again, right here, prosper limit to 6, a bigger yield on that one. Gonna have to wait and see exactly what we get. Prosper limit now up to 2%, so we're gaining pretty well on there. And again, building this fountain is the one that we want to focus on. And I'm gonna drop my last flower, which I believe was the blue flower there. Now from here, we can actually change this up a little bit. So again, looking at some of the guides in here, they have a few different designs that actually kind of go in here and build these out. Because of course, at this point, we want to make sure that, so let's modify our buildings, and I'm going to change it kind of on this formation. Then I'm going to show you this formation. Now, unfortunately, it's not in English, but we're going to go ahead and move this here, move this here. How do they have this? So the essence is built here. And again, I'm going to swing this over in just a minute so you can kind of see it. They put, of course, the towers go in the middle of the majority of places. I don't even know if they built Yeah, they did. They built quite a few towers in here. So what do we got? We got our labyrinth tokens, which are actually right down here. We'll drop them in this one, in there. So again, I'm just kind of mapping how they kind of built this out. The diamonds were sitting right there. And then of course the other ones were on this side, leaving it kind of empty. But where is our flowers? Blue flower in the middle here. They did a red and a yellow. This is how they built it. So essentially, if you're here, you're going to have the ability to build this one. Either of these are going to be the tower, which again, the tower we could switch up later. If you're here, we're going to have one. So this systematically is going to be able to build all of these. And again, you can swap the towers around. You can swap all of these around as you do need. So we're going to save this one. And there we go. So we did unlock the pillaging in here. We did also pick up that very first level of loot. So very, very cool to see building this out. But like I said, I wanted to swap this over. This again is from AFK Inside. So let me swap over to the other one in here. So we'll go full screen on this one. And this was the tower formations that I was talking about. So this is the first one that I built. Again, I didn't translate this one, but overall you can see kind of on this build, the layout. This is also a secondary layout that you could do. So when a new enemy or when a hero drops in, it'll actually drop right here. You have the ability to take this tower, but this, you can see we have the purple towers in here, and then we have a couple blue towers. So this is kind of a more advanced formation. As we continue through AFK Arena, it is a little bit, again, more of the advanced formation. And as you can see, all the buildings in some of these are pretty well built out, but we are definitely going to get there based on the build, based on everything that we have, and being able to farm out loot. Like I said earlier, getting in here and farming this loot out ASAP is huge. Now, just like we did last time, I'm going to drop the garrison force in here. Now, the big reason for this, and I'm only dropping one hero, I'm going to do back middle. Reason for this is if you do not have a hero in here, you kind of, the other players in here, if you don't have a hero, they don't have the ability to actually pillage, meaning you're not going to get the shield out of there. So I make sure that I drop at least one hero in here. I'm going to put my awakened heroes in here, put them back line. Again, this is not going to be for the defensive factor of it. This is going to be for the ability, which you can kind of let me know in the comments what you guys think. But again, this way, when players do come in here, they have the attack to it. They have the ability to attack and pillage. And then, of course, going through here, making a little bit of progression. And I'm going to go for kind of the even, but overall, we're going to be able to build this much faster because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gaps in here, which right now we have 6 buildings we are not leveling. So as we do get more rolls in here, we're going to be able to level up the buildings that we have. And of course, this is going to be expediting the Isle of Gold and the progression that we're making here. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.